Is there's amazing news that is coming out of the world of religion just in the last few days. Obama, former spiritual advisor, says he's glad civil religion is dying. His name is Sean Casey, religious affairs advisor to presidential candidate Barack Obama. He said he's glad that it is dying because it really led to slavery. Our American religion led to slavery, led to manifest destiny, et cetera, et cetera.
Remember the Christian slave ships?
I do.
I'm so tired of them.
I remember Amazing Grace, which was...
I remember that, but
that was about...
That was a hoax.
That was written by a guy who converted to Christianity. He was a slave ship guy, and then he went out and tried to stop slavery.
It's true, but if you remember in the book of slavery, it was
I don't think there's a book in the Bible.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I might have that mixed up with something else.
Then you also have an article that is coming out from the National Institute of Health and Duke University. Is it morally wrong to take a life? No, not really, they contend. Some amazing things happening in our world of faith. And if Christians and Jews and anybody who practice faith, if they don't wake up and see what's happening, it'll be too late. I mean, we're getting wake-up call after wake-up call after wake-up call. There is a story that we will show you today on television at 5 o'clock that will melt your brain of what they're now doing in the military. You know, had to get Christianity out of there. We got to stop all this Christian nonsense. We'll show you what the atheists, a concert that the atheists are putting on in our military, and the images that are going. It is so anti-God. And so, I'm going to say, it's satanic what is going on. Satanic. Last week, the Obama administration said, hey, Catholic hospitals, you got to start offering abortion in your health insurance and everything else. Read the words of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. He tried to get churches to wake up. He could only get 6 churches to wake up. Within, I believe, 6 years, they had replaced, because most of the churches just said, you know what, let's just do it. Just not make a big mess out of it. Let's just quiet. It's not going to be that bad. I believe it was within 6 years they had taken the picture of Christ off the altar and replaced it with a picture of Hitler. And it was too late. What the Obama administration is asking Catholics to do is to violate what they believe is morally right. But it's just one thing. If that doesn't sound like what Satan says to you, I don't know what is. Just violate this one really important thing. Over the weekend, in most Catholic churches, it's my understanding it should have been read in all Catholic churches, but I think it was up to the bishops. The bishops have written a letter to the Catholics in America saying, Obama, we will not comply. I urge you that if you are a Catholic, to read this, search it out online at theblaze.com. The story is there. Search this story out, read it, and then get involved. I urge you equally, if not more so, if you are not a Catholic, to assist the Catholics in everything they're doing right now. They are taking an amazing stand. I don't care how you feel about Catholicism. I don't care about... They are standing on the front line. And if we don't stand with them, you're going to find yourself on the front line without the Catholics, because the Catholics will be gone. The Catholics will have been dismantled. Nobody's asking anybody to change their theology or to have doctrinal debates. This is about our liberty and our religious liberty, to be specific. We have Bill Donohue on. He is the head of the Catholic League, and I just wanted to get his... when did you know this was coming down, Bill? This letter?
Well, I've been working with Archbishop Dolan on this thing for quite a while. I was speaking to him, and I'm trying to get a meeting with him next week. He'll be leaving. He just got back from... he'll be getting back this weekend from Jerusalem, and he was there for about 9-10 days, and then he leaves for Rome. And we made a cardinal on February the 18th. I'm trying to get an opportunity to squeeze in next week in terms of a strategy plan of what to do with it. I can tell you this much. I've been doing this job at the Catholic League for about 2 decades, and never have I seen greater resolve on the part of Catholics. I mean, even liberals who don't normally get along with conservatives are coming together on this. The bishops have come together. At my parish yesterday at Corpus Christi, Monsignor Coyle, the pastor there, spoke eloquently from the pulpit. And I spoke with him after Mass and told him we need more of this. And he was emboldened by what happened, and the people gave him a standing ovation. So that kind of thing doesn't go on all the time. It's unusual. But then we live in unusual times. I've never seen an administration as aggressive to stamp out religious liberty as the Obama administration. And let me just say one other thing here, and I'll let you in on and ask me any questions you want. But what really gets me is this. You just turn the clock back a little while, 2009. I had no objections to Obama going to Notre Dame University to speak. I did object very, very vociferously to him getting an award from a Catholic school. Let that go. He said at that point that he would respect conscience rights of Catholics. He wanted to reach out to Catholics to assure us. Now, Father Jenkins, who runs Notre Dame, felt that Obama was good and that so much for the critics. There we go. Obama was a great guy. Well, now Father Jenkins, along with Father Snyder, head of Catholic Charities, along with Sister Carol Keehan of the Catholic Health Association, all these 3 people, big names in the Catholic Church, thought that Obama would be good. They now feel betrayed. So it's not just conservatives and Orthodox Catholics like Bill Donohue. It's hitting Catholics across the spectrum. Obama has created a nightmare. And why he's doing it in an election year, I have not a clue.
Okay, Bill, let me ask you this. I think Keehan is she the nun that came out so strongly for Obamacare?
Exactly. Now she feels betrayed. Same with Father Jenkins from Notre Dame. So what's happened here is that the people who had departed from the bishops and who worked against us to some extent now come around and they say, I feel betrayed. What is he doing? He doesn't have to do this. And by the way, I want to make one thing very clear here. This is not about contraception. Why do you think he has abortion-inducing drugs involved in this thing? Ultimately, the goal is, and the nose of the camel is in the tent, the goal is to force Catholic hospitals and all hospitals to provide for abortion coverage. They're just starting with what they think is the least effective. We know exactly where they're going.
I have to tell you, Bill, I can outdo you on that, but I mean, you can never out pessimist me. I think it's more than that. I think it is to break the back of religions. You have his former spiritual advisor on record this weekend coming out and saying he's glad civil religion is dying. We just don't know what to replace it with. I mean, it is to break the back of religion. And and I know, if I'm the adversary, if I'm Satan, the thing I need to get people of real true faith to do is to just compromise a little bit on something that's very important.
Right.
And then a little bit more. And before you know it, you're done. You're done. It's what they do every time in really bad regimes. So I don't think this is just about abortion. I think this is about, look, Bill, what happens at Catholic hospitals if they start doing that? What happens is your charitable hospitals, this is the happy version of it, your charitable hospitals have a spine and say, no, we're not going to do it, which dumps all of that load onto the federal system, which they can't handle.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. Let's remember, I hope the listeners understand this, that just a few weeks ago, while we did win in a unanimous decision, unprecedented, 9-0, the Supreme Court affirmed the idea of ministerial exception, meaning that all churches have the right to decide who works there and what and how to handle their employees, hiring and firing. The Obama administration did not want that. The Obama administration stood with the New York Times. They want the federal government making these decisions. Now, whether or not we have women priests, that's for Catholics to decide. Obama wants the federal government to decide. That's why he argued this case in the Supreme Court. And they've also punished Catholic agencies which have funded all kinds of programs to help out women and children and human trafficking. And the proposal scored very, very high, and we were denied because they said the Catholic Church is pro-life and we will have none of it. This is exactly what he's doing.
So, Bill, what I want you to do is to speak here a little bit about, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. Do you have time? Can you stay with us for a few more minutes? I want you to speak directly to Catholics. A, what do you do? And then non-Catholics. Bill, how can we help you? We have to join together. Catholics, evangelicals, Mormons, Jews, we all have to stand together because first they come for the Catholics. Well, they're going to come once they get you guys, they're going to come for us. If they'll take on the Catholics in an election year, who won't they take on in an off year?